We catch up with Jack after, I guess he's been off the grid for a few years. John certainly doesn't know what he's up to. In fact, he has some pretty, interesting ideas about what he might have been doing with his life. But Jack's actually deep cover CIA. He had a dishonorable discharge from the army, and it was all actually an elaborate setup to get him, as far sort of off the map as possible. And yeah, he's over there working for the government. We catch up with Jack basically in the middle of an operation. John doesn't realize it, but he plays a pretty instrumental part in foiling that operation, and from that point things kind of go awry. Hence the resentment Jack shows for his father's arrival. The guys chasing us in this beast you see behind us is basically a gang of bad guys who are working for Shigarin, who's a billionaire oligarch, and they're out to get us. They haven't spoken to one another for some years, and there's evidence to suggest there was probably some difficulties between them, that date back to Jack's childhood. But yeah, I mean, it's an extraordinary circumstance they find themselves in, and certainly no one else has either of their backs, in Moscow, so they have to band together in order to stay alive. Bruce is great. He's, he keeps it fresh, he keeps it light. No two takes are ever the same, and that keeps it interesting for me. We've got some pretty heavy action sequences, so there has been, a lot in the lead up physically to sort of prepare for the role. From fight training and that sort of stuff to basic weapons use. John and Jack are completely different in their approach to their work. Jack's someone who follows procedure and protocol and training, and there's steps, there's things you do before others, and there's things you absolutely don't do. And John's much more of a kind of, let's wing it, see what happens, hope for the best kind of guy. And that gets him into a bit of trouble. But, Jack kind of, he's forced to adopt a bit of that attitude by the end of the film, and it works out for him. John's a fish out of water. Jack kind of knows this town. John thinks Jack thinks he knows it all, and Jack thinks he knows it all as well. And, they lock horns, they butt heads, but in the end, I think they're stronger for the experience. I think what people can expect from A Good Day to Die Hard is a big, fast-paced action film. I mean, once we kick off, we kind of don't stop. It may even seem like one, big, heavy action sequence. And, it doesn't really let up. I mean, these guys, it's one obstacle after another. And, yeah, I don't think Die Hard fans will be let down, that's for sure.